Nathan Oakley is a flat earther who holds himself in very high regard, possibly why he's fallen out with countless other flat earthers. But recently he's fallen out with two of his closest allies over the writing of his book, and it is full of flat earth drama. Hello all and welcome along to another video with me, Simon Dan. Thanks very much for joining me. Before we begin with today's video, I was reading earlier how the Indian Space Agency is due to launch its heaviest satellite yet, and I was reading that story on Ground News, which was actually founded by a former NASA engineer called Harleen Kaur, who worked on the James Webb Space Telescope. Now, Ground News combines stories and articles from thousands of outlets, local and national, in one place so readers can see the full picture of what's being recorded around the world. As you can see here, Ground News shows you if there's any political leanings for each publication. And in this instance, with the Indian Space Agency story, we can see that it's mainly centre-driven, with 104 total news sources. Now, for every story, you get a quick visual breakdown of the news outlet covering it, what their political biases, how factual the source is, which entity owns that source, and which countries are covering the story. Ground News is also gaining notoriety for its work. They were recently recognised by the Nobel Peace Centre for their impact on media literacy, saying it's an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers and expand your worldview, which is exactly why we use Ground News too. You can see every side to every story with access to international perspectives that are hard to find, so then you can make informed decisions where you can read, watch and share the best information available. And Ground News is mission centric. It's not about eliminating bias but providing better transparency. Plus they're funded by their community, not by big ads or investors. So go to ground.news/Simon to stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Click the link in the description to get 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. Now, for those of you who don't know, the flat earther Nathan Oakley was in the process of writing a book about flat earth. He seemed very confident this was going to be the best flat earth book ever written. Then a few months ago, Ranty, the ex-flat earther and ex-friend of Nathan by the way, brought to us through his channel Auditing the Absurd that Nathan was using ghostwriters for his book. Let's have a listen, shall we?
So in yesterday's show, I was trying to fondle around the idea of there being a high bar for any future authors, let's call them, plural, to try and achieve a higher standard than the book that's not even released yet. And I said it would take 100 years.
Nathan thinks his unpublished flat earth book sets the bar so high it would take a century to top it, which is a bold claim considering no one has ever asked for any flat earth books.
The foundation of the book is mine, but the nuance, the detail has come from other people around me. Not just in the sense that there's been 10 years of flat earth YouTubing on this channel, more that the book, especially the final editing processes, have had all of the citations and the polish put on the book that's been, you know, given a structure and a foundation, or however you want to metaphor it out with, by me and what flat earth debate is. Now, I can only describe this vaguely because Brian, in his honesty, has put it in a succinct way, because he was describing how he was jealous. He's like, I'm jealous that you've had this process whereby you can have the attention of QE and Adam to put their polish on top of material that you've developed over the last 10 years.
Now, I don't know if this means that Nathan has written some sort of flat earth book over the last 10 years, and Adam Meakin and Quantum Eraser, the two flat earth friends of Nathan, have just polished it up and edited it, or if Nathan has directed Adam and QE to write the book in full. Either way, it appears he's getting some significant help.
Because Brian was basically explaining, or not apologising as such, but sort of justifying why he has these little jabs where he's like, oh, you got your ghostwriters then, when they're doing what they do. Adam and QE are doing what they're doing now. It's like, no, they're not my ghostwriters. How dare you? But he divulged, he's like, well, I'm just jealous that the level of help that you're getting and the refinement of the book and what it will result in as a consequence of having that refined help. I'm jealous of that. It would be nice if I had that. I haven't. You have, for what you've done and what you've built. So I'm like, it's nice to hear that, because, you know, his jabs and snipes, and Neil jumps on that bandwagon from time to time as well because he knows he gets a laugh. But, you know, I've put my heart and soul into producing a book and sat through a process of refinement that I could have just put an end to at any moment. If I wanted to publish it tomorrow, I could.
Apparently, Huey and Adam are helping Nathan refine 10 years of work. Translation: they're editing his rambling Discord debates into something vaguely readable. He also says he could publish it tomorrow, yet after 10 years of work still hasn't. Something tells me he needs Adam and Huey more than he's letting on.
Well, what's Adam going to do to stop me? It's mine. Now, I'm very grateful that they've helped and they've put their refinement into the book, and they'll even get a mention in it. But the point is that I want to be selling the book as it is, as it will be described. The highest of refinement, the highest of standard, the highest of bar, the highest of quality, the best quality citations and references. Every word has been pored over and scrutinised. How the book flows, which is beautiful. Well, all of this gets explained in a much more coherent and flowing way, thanks to the editing process and Adam and Quantum Eraser. All of that comes to a head in each and every chapter so that the reader, unless they lack comprehension, will understand.
Now, Nathan proudly says that Adam and Huey helped him refine his book and that they'll get a mention. Lovely. Normally though, when people help edit and shape a manuscript, you pay them, not just drop their name in the acknowledgements like a token thank you.
So, therefore, you can only draw one conclusion, given the refinement that's been put into Welcome to Flat Earth, the ultimate Flat Earth reference book. And that is that it will not and cannot be surpassed in terms of its quality.
Or shouldn't you have publishers lining up to take this amazing book, Nathan? I think we'll all be the judge of that when it gets released. If it gets released, that is. Remember when Nathan said this?
I could have just put an end to it at any moment. If I wanted to publish it tomorrow, I could. Well, what's Adam going to do to stop me? It's mine.
Well, that is exactly what has happened. Simply amazing. It's okay, Nathan. Tell him you'll give him a mention in the book and I'm sure he'll play ball. Let's join Nathan now on one of his recent live streams where he explains the issue.
My point is that while I'm explaining that there's a book ready, and at all points during the process it could have just been published after any of the drafts, not in a million years did I think I'd be sitting in front of an audience and explaining that two of my alleged to be closest friends who had claimed they were helping me would actually withhold the book from me and cost me time and money. But that's the circumstances, so if Huey's getting berated for that, so he should.
Imagine blaming your unpaid editors for delaying a book that's been ready for years. He says he could have published it after any draft, which sort of ruins the highest refinement speech from earlier. And now he wants Quantum Eraser berated for it. Nothing screams professional author quite like publicly feuding with your proofreaders before the book even exists.
You know, he's got on the phone with me, demanded percentages, demanded money, and demanded basically ownership of what is mine after offering help. Well, no, they're liars, both of them.
So when people ask to be paid for their work, suddenly they're liars. Seems a bit of an odd statement to make, Nathan. It seems like what has happened here, his volunteer editors realised they were ghostwriting his Flat Earth nonsense book for free, which took them time and effort, so decided to ask for some fair credit. Nothing wrong with that in my eyes.
Sorry, you're the one getting blamed for that. They would give it back to you. You just did not ask nicely enough.
I didn't ask nicely enough for my own material that I produced. I don't need to ask nicely. It just means I've got to get my wife to transcribe it. And they've cost me money and are costing me time. So if anybody's like, why isn't the book released? Well, blame Huey and Adam. Adam is a scumbag and a degenerate liar. Because he's told me, as you've seen from the clips that I'm publishing, that he's helping me with my book. There's no uncertain terms about whose book's being produced and who's helping me produce the book. Well, they've turned around and gone, no, we want your book to be our book. And I've said, no. So they said, well, we're keeping it then. What, the Word document? Oh, right. Well, fortunately for me, although I never anticipated it would be the scumbag friends, so-called, that I'd have to protect myself against by recording all of the sessions and publishing them periodically to members.
He says he doesn't need to ask nicely and will get his wife to transcribe it all instead. So after 10 years of refinement, we're back to square one then. You see, it turns out that Nathan's book has been written by QE and Adam off the back of his recorded Discord sessions. And now they've got the document and won't give it back to him. So he's paying his wife to now transcribe those same recorded sessions. Jesus, Nathan, are you going to do any work for your own book?
So in case anybody's wondering, why is it that there's an alleged leaked version out there? That's because I periodically published the work process to members. So should anybody use any of that material that was produced under my guidance, they'll be sued for plagiarism. And I've got dates to prove when it's published on my channel with my supervision. So make no mistakes, the material's all mine. Now, do I have a Word document? No. Did I think that I would be betrayed by my so-called friends and they'd blackmail me with my own bleeding book? No, I didn't expect that to be the case, and it has set me back in terms of time. But it doesn't mean I've lost the material.
So he insists that all the material is his, even though he admits he doesn't actually have a Word document. So no manuscript, no book. Just YouTube recordings of arguments. Brilliant. That's not a book, Nathan.
I recorded it all. But like I say, my poor wife, who is also very ill, is having to transcribe it, costing time, costing money. So they're literally costing a poor man, that's me, money. These two scumbags, these degenerates. That's what they've done. They've cost me money when they offered help. No, they weren't offering me help. What they wanted was co-authorship of a book they were alleging to help me with, and they've withheld it unless they get their demands. So what I have done, as I've had no choice, is report Adam to the police for stealing my book and trying to extort from me after the fact. That's what I've had to do. Make no mistake about it, these two men are thieves, and they are trying to extort me.
Nathan now saying he's reporting his ex-editors to the police for extortion because apparently they've withheld his book and want co-authorship. Let's be clear here, that's not extortion. It's a disagreement over credit and contribution. If someone helps write, edit or structure your work, they have got a legitimate claim to part ownership. That's how publishing works. It's not theft, it's collaboration. Can you imagine that phone call? Hello officer, my unpaid editors want recognition for helping me finish my Flat Earth book. My word, this is a mess. And you know what else? Whilst his wife has been painstakingly transcribing those recorded sessions, Nathan has been playing Fortnite. Author hard at work there. Makes a mockery of it all, doesn't it really? Dear oh dear oh dear. So there we have it everyone, the most recent Flat Earth drama to grace your YouTube screens. Please do let me know in the comments what you thought of this. As I say, we're all done and dusted for another one. Thank you so much for watching today. As ever, it's appreciated. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe and hit the like button too. Just enough time to once again thank Ground News for sponsoring today's video. Remember, go to ground.news/Simon to stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Click the link in the description to get 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great day and I'll see you tomorrow for another Saturday session. See you then.